What it do, baby? Yeah.
We talking about sports, get ball.
Welcome back, everybody, to the number one podcast in your headphones. You thought it was going to be longer, didn't you? I promised you I'd be back. And this one's special because I got two big bros with me here. This is a three co-host special here because football is pain and that's all we know. So, without further ado, I'm joined today on this edition of the Prem Brulee podcast, the number one podcast in your headphones. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. I'm joined by my older brother, Vish, and my older cousin, basically my older brother, Roshan. Vish, Roshan, welcome to the podcast.
What's good, man? Glad to be here. Excited. First time, long time. You know what it is.
Yo, excited, man. Excited.
Now, you number one podcast listeners, you guys have heard these guys on audio clips before, so their voices should be pretty familiar, but this time they get the full episode to have their microphone therapy, as I call it. You guys know the drill. First up is Yeah Fam or Nah, and we're just going to go through some sports updates for you. Where we are at in the MLB playoffs, we're through the wild card round, the special wild card round with 3-game series. Go Stros, baby. Bang, bang, bitches. Anyway, the NLCS is taking place in the state of Texas. Shout out Roche right here.
There you go. There's actually games going on at Minute Maid, and it's not the Astros, so it's kind of hard to watch.
You hate to see it.
Super hate to see it.
And the ALCS is taking place in California. So the 8 teams that are remaining right now are our beloved Astros are playing the A's. You all hate to see it. The three of us love to see it. The Yankees are playing the Rays right now. Fuck the Yankees, go Rays, baby.
Big time fuck the Yankees, man.
Amen. The Dodgers are playing the Padres, which LA Stadium is basically the Astros' home, so shout out to that. And the Braves are playing the Marlins. I have not heard from Cubs fans lately. That's because you lost to the fucking Marlins. Too bad.
They lost 105 games last year. They lost 105 games. It's impressive.
Listen, but in the Cubs' defense, like I said last week, the Marlins are used to not having fans, so this is really an advantage.
The Marlins have not lost a playoff game, like a playoff series, though, and they're like franchise history. The one thing that I wasn't sure of, we didn't have like last year's reigning MVP, Mike Trout, and his Angels in the playoffs. Is that right? Or did we cover that already? Or how does that...
Damn,
Didn't they add Anthony Rendon? Like, isn't that like a MVP runner-up also?
Mike
was that
Trout.
Was that
doesn't ring a bell. Not this time of year. It doesn't ring a bell. Didn't compute. Anyway, you guys are Yeah Fam or Nah. Last episode I talked about I kind of like this format. What's your guys' take? You guys a Yeah Fam to the format and the 8 teams that remain? I mean, we already gave it away. We're definitely a Yeah Fam. We'll be even more Yeah Fam if our Stros win and the Yankees lose. Throw in a Dodgers loss too, and we're thrilled. So, how you guys feel?
I love this format. I thought the wild card round was pretty cool. It's nice to see, you get like at least 2 elimination games. You build up this typically 160 game season, and you get to basically throw it in the trash if you lose a wild card game. So it's nice to see some of these good teams. Also the Astros got in as a wild card team essentially, so I can't even hate on it. As a 29-31 team, injuries decimated our entire roster, and we're still here. We won the wild card round. Everybody fucking hated it, and I love it.
I'm a big Yeah Fam to this. It's different. It's unique. I think the neutral site games are still getting used to. One of the things that I miss about the playoffs is just that atmosphere. You just hear the crowd and the things on TV. I know, and you already said your 2-piece on the Marlins, and that's okay. But, all the other fan bases are pretty locked and loaded when it goes to that, and especially when you get some alcohol flowing in you, man, all bets are off. So I'm definitely a Yeah Fan, but would love to see that atmosphere kind of come alive with the fans, and that's kind of something that I do miss.
For sure. On to the NFL. I know we have a lot to say about this all episode, so stay tuned for that a little later. The NFL is kind of continuing. We thought it was cruising kind of well. Then all of a sudden the Tennessee Titans happen, and they ended up with 20 cases amongst their players and staff. I mean, I think it goes without saying they fucked up somewhere. But what I wanted your take on in response to the Titans. So hypothetically, so the NFL sent out a memo to teams. Essentially, it was like a threat, like get your shit together, COVID related. So a team has an outbreak like the Titans did, and they're responsible for a game needing to be moved. Should that game, like if they can't figure out a way to move it, should they be responsible and have to forfeit that game? Yeah, fam or nah, a team responsible for an outbreak should have to forfeit if they can't make other arrangements.
Vish, I'll let you public health go first.
This is a tough one. I think it's a nah. And the reason I say that, and I'm trying to take away my bias because, the fucking Titans, they stole the franchise from Houston. They're in our division. So that everything else aside, I think, we're in a global pandemic. Things are going to spread. We know that's what's going to happen, especially when people are in close proximity. If there is something that someone did that's negligent, I don't think other players should be held responsible. And I don't think that should resort in that. It's tough because, sometimes it is because of people just not paying attention to some of the protocols that are in place. But often than not, this virus is real. It's something that we all have to deal with. And, all jokes aside, I think, I wouldn't want to penalize a team for something that is out of their control.
Me personally, I'm a yeah fam to they have to forfeit. We are kind of like at a privilege right now to have sports in the first place, and these guys are paid athletes to do something, and they had the option to opt out. So if you're running around, going to clubs, or doing whatever you are in your hometown, and putting your team at risk, it's a team game. So I would have to vote that you have to forfeit it because the NFL is on such a tight schedule as far as playoffs go, bye weeks, all this stuff is like super scheduled out, and you can't really mess with the formula, and you can't really tack on games at the end. You can't do double headers. So yeah, you should probably have to forfeit.
Yeah, I'm with you, Rosh, on this one. I'm a yeah fam to this. So I think obviously it's going to come up if a team is already had one game that they've had to postpone. So essentially, like, the Titans had to postpone the one game and it affected the Steelers. The Titans do it a second time. They don't have another bye week to mess with. So that's my argument. Like, you're affecting other teams. Now, all of a sudden, the Steelers, who were supposed to play the Titans last week, had to have a fucking week 3 bye because the Titans can get their shit together. And that's where I don't have, like honestly, there's going to be cases that come up, but when you have 20, something's fucked up with how you're doing shit. So that's where I have an issue. I mean, it would take a lot for them to have to prove it. And the Titans situation's starting to become one because there's rumors that players during this were having a workout together at a Nashville school. Let's take this shit serious. And unfortunately, the only way a team is going to, it's not going to be by fines because there's plenty of money flowing in. It might not even be by draft picks because the current players don't give a shit about that. That's just one less player trying to take their job. So I'm a yeah fam. I think if you can't make other arrangements, it's on the team that caused this. I got one last NFL one for you guys. This man is beloved to us here in Columbus. Go Bucks. But this week, the Washington football team benched Dwayne Haskins. They will start Kyle Allen. And not only did they bench Dwayne Haskins, they deep benched Dwayne Haskins. He is QB3. So now Kyle Allen will start, 2 first names. And Alex Smith is a play away from making one of the craziest comebacks ever. Can't lie, I'm rooting for him personally, but this is a shit situation for our Dwayne Haskins. You guys take it away. Rosh, you start on.
I'm a super nah fam. I was a nah fam when Washington drafted him because, there's 27 other teams I probably would have wanted them, to draft Dwayne. He's obviously an NFL caliber talent. He has been since he was in college. The thing I'm a super nah fam for is Kyle Allen. Like, if you're going to just basically call it a wash, why not put in Alex Smith and get the feel-good story going? What the fuck is Kyle Allen going to do that he didn't do last year? For Ron Rivera on the Panthers, that was like completely underwhelming, was essentially just a fart noise. put in Alex Smith, at least, get some tear jerking going on, Twitter, whatever, and, get the clicks. They're doing this wrong. Washington continues to do everything wrong. I can't wait till they're not a football team anymore. Somehow sell the team. Dan Snyder's the worst. Whatever.
Congratulations.
Fuck them.
You played yourself.
So I'm going to zag a little bit here, and I think this is going to be a theme that I'm going to try to do a little bit to change it up. Obviously, I love Dwayne Haskins. I'm a fan because the Washington football team is a joke of a fucking franchise. If I want to see Dwayne Haskins actually do well, it's not going to be in Washington. I know you have your feelings on this, Prem. It's just like, come on, really? You're surrounding him with shitty talent. You kind of caught a lottery pick with basically Terry McLaurin, who has a way to work with Dwayne Haskins already from his days at Ohio State. But if he's not going to be respected, he's doing his work. He just threw for over 300 yards. What else do you need from your quarterback? If your defense sucks, if your front office sucks, it's just a joke of a franchise. So if they're going to move on from him, do it now. Trade him to a franchise that's going to be able to use him. We got some shitty ass quarterbacks in a lot of other teams right now, and I think Dwayne Haskins can really light fire under it because he is a franchise quarterback, and he wasn't drafted in the first round for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I definitely agree with everything you're getting at. The only reason I'm a nod to this is Washington has legitimately no reason to just throw him away for nothing. They'll just stash him and ruin his career because it's a trash move for a fucking trash franchise. And why would they do right by Dwayne Haskins? They haven't done it yet. They let go of any level of talent that team had just to rebuild and put him around bullshit. He's around no one except for Terry McLaurin, like you pointed out, Vish. It's a trash move for a trash franchise, and it fucking sucks for him because they're going to Josh Rosen this. And it is a shame because he came off a phenomenal game against Baltimore, and you're going to bench him after a Baltimore game? What are we talking about here? It's not like they played a shit team and he underperformed. He did pretty damn fucking well against a really good team, a cream of the crop team. So
they were hanging in there for most of the game.
It's just a trash move by a trash franchise, and we'll leave it at that. And I hope our guy gets another shot somewhere else because he got absolutely. All right, a quick. I want to get your quick rapid fire take. NCAA football's back. The season's drunk already, pretty much. Oklahoma is 0-2. They lost 2 teams they should not have. I wanted to get a quick take. The champ this year will have an asterisk on it. Yeah, fam or not? So, a couple things to consider. Obviously, it's a shorter season overall. Some more than others. There are little to no fans. And obviously different start dates for different conferences. And no out-of-conference games except for the ACC throwing fucking Notre Dame a bone for some fucking reason, by the way. I don't get. But whatever. Champ this year will have an asterisk. Yeah, fam or not?
I would say yeah, fam. They will have an asterisk. The only exception to that is if Ohio State wins it, then there shouldn't be an asterisk around it. And that's what I'll say about that.
You're goddamn right.
What's funny is I let Vish go first, knowing that he'd say something along the lines of that. Because me, as someone in Houston, who the University of Houston's game have been consistently suspended because the other team has had some kind of COVID outbreak or whatever it is. So I haven't watched any hometown college football. I haven't been really keeping up with college football. But once the Buckeyes start, I'm going to be locked in. And if they win the college playoff, we're good to go, baby. But if Alabama wins, fuck them. It's an asterisk. I don't care.
Amen. Nothing further to add. You know why you came here. You know why you fucking came here, and Joker hit it, baby.
I'm petty as hell. And I'm super petty.
Here we
Petty Le Pew.
go.
It's time for You Played Yourself. A quick background, you number one podcast listeners. You already know my fanhood. For some fucking reason, I'm still a Cowboys fan. But my 2 family members here are Texans fans, so just buckle in here. But until we get to those points, I wanted to build a little and have a few You Played Yourselves before we get to really ranting about our teams. First up, a popular figure on this fucking section. He always finds a way to run his goddamn mouth. Kyrie Irving, Mr. Flat Earth himself. So this man really had the following quote, "This is the first time in my career I can look down and be like, that motherfucker can make that shot too," end quote. This man has not played a fucking minute with King Snake himself, and the venom's already seeping in. You know, him saying this, the brand is petty, right? We're Team Petty. You know, so what do we think about approving this petty alert? Because it's clearly directed at one LeBron James. You're absolutely fucking wrong. It's denied. Denied. Zero tolerance for snake behavior. Zero tolerance for LeGod James libel or slander. However you want to write it, you want to say it. Either one, not permitted. Denied. Kyrie Irving. It's not done at that, right? So Kyrie wants to tell us in a video that we live in a clickbait society. And he'll tell us if he's talking about someone specific. Dumbass, who else would you be talking about? Matthew Dellavedova? Fucking Anthony Bennett? Who the fuck we think you're talking about? You haven't won with anyone else? Check the fucking stats. You're not shit without LeBron James. And you want to tell us we're clickbait. How dumb do you think we are, man? You're the one that thought the earth was fucking flat. You want to tell us we're in a clickbait society when you say stupid things. The best way it could be presented was by Fox Sports 1's Nick Wright.
Kyrie's the most dangerous type of person. A kind of smart guy who thinks he's a genius.
Okay, so I said my piece about flat earth Kyrie Irving. You guys have anything to add about this dumbass? Vish, you up first.
You know, I think we're all kind of on board with our hatred towards King Snake and what that looks like. I mean, but the one thing that I will say,
zero rings, by the way. Don't ever get it twisted.
Hey, Kyrie still has one. So I'll
Listen,
do that.
He does.
For all that talk about Kyrie, I'm really looking forward to him actually using his real championship experience to maybe get Kevin Durant his first ring. We'll see.
Bravo.
Damn, man, that was harsh. I mean, it's no secret that they've been great friends for a while. You know, I know you guys aren't big Bill Simmons fans, but I do enjoy his podcast. He has great guests on. A few years ago, really after the first alleged ring, it's still in contention for Golden State, Kevin Durant was on it, and he actually said a lot about Kyrie and how he enjoyed how he played and what that looks like. So I think they're just kind of like bullshitting around. They're just excited to play together. The one thing that just I wonder about, and I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way to think about it, is like, this is KD's podcast. Like, his people had to sign off on this. They knew exactly what kind of clickbait that they're going to get, and they knew exactly why they did it at the timing they did it. His podcast didn't come out in June when we were just all, sitting on our hands and, shitting on the walls. Whatever it was. They decided to do this right during the NBA Finals. They knew that LeBron center stage. They're trying to take away the stage. It's smart. It's a competitive thing. And they're just trying to get any edge that they can just so that they get eyes on their podcast.
You hate to see it. I mean, how are they going to compete with the number one podcast in your headphones anyway? Just let the rest of us have fucking something. You don't see me trying to be a mock NBA champion.
I set you up and you absolutely took that. Great job. It was like it was an alley-oop.
It's the Wade to LeBron dunk on the Bucks.
There you go.
So for me personally, I have battled with being a fan of Kyrie since he came into the league. He's an extremely fun player to watch, but he's like also one of the most frustrating stars to ever come into the league. And, personally, lately, I love that he's on his like meditative, holistic shit, because that's my whole vibe the last few years. But, goddamn, he's like the biggest walking contradiction. All he does is preach this like high road, like incense burning, meditating, let's do some yoga shit. But then he does this like petty, childish, like high school shit. Like, him and KD are just like two peas in a pod, and they were always meant to be together. I love that they're teammates. I will be rooting for them. Like we've said, KD, hopefully he gets that elusive first ring.
Congratulations,
but, he constantly blames the media for twisting the words, and then he purposely drops these Easter eggs into conversations, into tweets, wherever he wants to do that. He's like that person in high school who's mediating a fight between two of his closest friends, but continuously manipulates the convo. And more than likely, it's not to get anything done. It's just for his own entertainment. It's like he knows what's going to get clicks and what's going to get talking heads to, discuss all these things. But it's just like he does this for his own entertainment, and I'm convinced of it. And, that makes him the perfect teammate for Kevin, I got burner Twitter accounts, Durant.
By rooting for them, you mean rooting against them, but I know what you...
Yeah.
They're going to be easy to root against. Okay, speaking of people that find themselves on here on this topic very often, Aaron Rodgers is next up. Aaron Rodgers was on Pat McAfee's show, and he said the following, quote, "I sometimes laugh when people talk about down years for me because a lot of times down years for me are career years for most quarterbacks," end quote. Okay, I can't describe it. I just fucking hate him. I hate him. It's different than confidence. He's so fucking smug, this guy. Like, everyone talks about how great Rodgers is fine, but he's got to no, louder. How do I make it fucking worse? And how do I make myself seem insufferable? Like, it's not enough that everybody wants to fucking loud me while I have done very little. And I know you're going to get into that, Rush, but he's so fucking unlikable. And every Packers fan tries to fucking convince me why he shouldn't be unlikable. And yet he fucking does that. He's not a man of the people. He's always crying to the refs. And he can't fucking chug a beer. Anyway, you guys are up. Fuck Aaron Rodgers. And by the way, all you people bowing to him, how does it feel when he's not even the best quarterback in your franchise history? Not even second. I said it. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, fuck off Aaron Rodgers. And fuck off his cult following.
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers congregation.
Oh, wait, hold on. I interrupt this because Aaron Rodgers just asked for a flag. And he got it.
Incredible.
Gotta love it. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers congregation is just it's marvelous to watch. I love watching every year, just around this time of year. It's like that's the same time every year. It becomes a time where everyone who hates Aaron Rodgers just violently, aggressively roots against him. Because I do not want to see him succeed. I do not want to see him stack another fucking MVP award without winning any more meaningful games. He walked into that Super Bowl in 2010. He's won 6 division titles. He has plenty of MVPs. But
it must be a Wisconsin thing.
It's got to be a Wisconsin thing because, there's this strong love affair between the NFL, its analysts, its voters, and Aaron Rodgers. They constantly fucking vote for him, and his team flames out in the playoffs every single year. I can call it. I actually am not a betting man, but I've actively placed 2 bets on Aaron Rodgers, against Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs in the last 5 years, and I've won both of those bets. Why? Because I just know he's going to fucking choke. One of them was the Kaepernick game. Amen to that one. And, I don't even remember the other one, but it's just incredible. He's the NFL Mike Trout. Oh. Every time he's propped up by everybody, everyone's bowing at his feet.
What was that name you said? I don't recognize that name at this time of the baseball season.
That's kind of a compliment to Mike Trout because he's never seen the playoffs outside of the 3-game sweep that he had that one year. But Aaron Rodgers is insufferable. I can't wait to continue rooting against him. And yeah, he's the 2008 Boston Celtics of people.
Yeah, you brought up a great point on Twitter. I just need to, because you deserve your credit for this. So you said Aaron Rodgers is the 2008 Boston Celtics of people, right? Mm-hmm. So you broke it down for us. Won a Super Bowl in 2010 as a wild card. 6 division titles. You brought that up. Hasn't sniffed a Super Bowl. You brought up his MVPs, empty MVPs like Greek Freak. Not my MVP, by the way.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
That is exactly the Boston Celtics. I'm surprised Paul Pierce doesn't talk about him more.
Right.
Anyway, go ahead. Do your zig, Vish.
This is what I'm here for. I hate Aaron Rodgers for the record. I also don't know how he's on the Pat McAfee show. I think it's because of one of his teammates, AJ Hawk, who's a fellow Buckeye. Shout out.
Go Bucks.
I think I was just talking to in our group chat today that if you actually look at the videos, and this is really quick, sidebar. AJ Hawk's just constantly always just smoking a cigar, and it's like a fucking Zoom call, and I just think that's just really badass. He's in his office, his home office, and he's just smoking a cigar every single time. So that being said, I do hate Aaron Rodgers, so I'm going to zag a little bit here just to be a little bit different. I really do like the the petty energy that he tries to throw at people to try to have people sympathize with him. And he feeds right into the media. The media just love him and they eat it up. But like, you know, he's putting a chip on his shoulder. And this is what great athletes do. They find something, and we've seen it, like one of the GOATs, the GOAT in the NBA, LeBron James has done it. You know, the hashtag washed king. There's been like 2 people that have said he sucks. And then he just takes that and runs with it. So, and I think that's what's happening with Aaron Rodgers. There's like 2 people that are like, man, you're just washed up. You suck. You know, cool. And I'm here for it, just to hear the banter, because, you know, what else do we have to talk about? The fucking Titans having this whole thing that's going on. So I do like it, because he is willing to talk kind of openly around it, where you don't really hear many NFL players do that anymore.
That's fair.
All right, you number 1 podcast listeners, you know, you tune in for a fucking reason. And we've come to that moment.
Hold on. Let me pour up another one before you get into this. This is gonna be good.
Listen, I'm gonna let you guys lead with your team, but I'm gonna tee this up for you guys. So as I introduce my 2 big bros here, Vish and Roshan are both Texans fans. Our family is chock full of them. So this year, I originally had them on the podcast, and then something happened that they desperately wanted this whole time. The Texans actually fired Bill O'Brien as their head coach and GM. So Bill O'Brien was 52-48 in his roughly 7 years with the team. This was his 7th season, I believe. I don't think I need to say more. You guys have the floor. You played yourself. Please keep in mind, this is microphone therapy, so have at it, baby. Who wants to go first? Who's going first?
I'm going to let Rosh go first, man. I'm going to let Rosh go first here.
Yeah, I'll be a lot more angrier than you, I'm sure. But I'll go first. All right. Okay, so listen, it's never good when someone loses their job. You know, we're in a pandemic right now, and if I was a nice person, I would send my condolences to the O'Brien family, but I'm not a nice person.
Yeah, there we go.
Hey, where's the petty drop?
Guy,
the petty drop right now.
Oh, let's drop it right there.
Petty alert. Petty alert. Petty alert.
Conor McGregor, baby.
Let the sirens go out. Dude.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
This fucking guy has set back our franchise so far back, further than Kubiak could have ever dreamed of. I have been a diehard Texans fan since 2002, and you know, Kubiak was an offensive genius, okay? That offensive genius I have never seen. No one calls Kubiak an offensive genius anymore. But Bill O'Brien, when he came into the system, was often heralded as an offensive genius. He had Tom Brady in 2011 and just, you know, has rode those fucking coattails to this, you know, exquisite franchise, you know, billion-dollar franchise in the 4th biggest fucking city in goddamn America. Okay, our entire time as a team, we had been searching for a franchise quarterback. For the last 3 years, we finally have had him. We traded up. Good. Great. We got him. This fucking guy started Tom Savage over him months after drafting him. Moving up, 2 first-rounders, started Tom Savage. Who? This fucking guy, Tom Savage, is not even in the league anymore. I Wikipedia'd him before this. He's not on any teams. He's fucking warming a bench, never got another contract, nothing. Let that sink in. He went through an entire training camp with Tom Savage as a starter. He talked to Houston media constantly, Tom Savage is a starter, knowing damn well this franchise has been clamoring for someone like Deshaun, who's coming off a fucking national championship win. You know?
Allegedly.
Savage, okay. Savage was benched after 1/2 of football. 1/2 of football, week 1, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That's how long he lasted. And then just to go through some more bullet points of his time here, we got blasted out of the playoffs with a wild card loss. After starting that season 0-3, we rattled off 9 straight W's. Why? Deshaun fucking Watson. What else? Was he fired? No. We got blown out by the Colts. 21-0 essentially. We scored some garbage time shit. Who cares? Next season, we're 10-6. We won a wild card game because Josh Allen doesn't know how to throw a ball yet. Obviously, he's doing a lot better this year. Last year, he was trash. Let's be real. The Bills were a great team, riding that defense and a running game. Josh Allen was the weak link. Somehow, some way, overnight, this guy became some kind of MVP contender. That's a whole other story. Whatever. The following week, Oh, we won that game by the heroics of Deshaun Watson, who got like sandwiched between two defenders and just made this incredible like highlight reel play, blah, blah, blah. Deshaun Watson has saved this guy's job at least 10 times. Next week, the Super Bowl champions, who would eventually become the Super Bowl champions, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. You know, we're in Arrowhead fucking railing into these guys 24-0 first quarter. Me, I'm sitting at home not excited at all. Why? Because I knew we'd fucking lose the second they scored their first touchdown. 24-7, I was like, oh, this thing's over, but the other way. I knew Mahomes would come back. I knew he would wreck us. We only scored one more touchdown. Why are you up 17 fake punting in the playoffs? Fuck this guy. You know, and then his trades are a whole other story. He traded away Dwayne Brown, who has, I saw a tweet about this. He gave up the same amount of pressures as Laramie Tunsil since the time we've traded for them for half the cost. He traded Clowney for pennies to Seattle. He traded DeAndre Hopkins. I'm going to say it one more time. He traded DeAndre Hopkins for chips and queso and David Johnson. Okay,
we're currently queso's really good. Sorry to interrupt. I mean, just
this is like Chipotle queso. Okay, this is Chipotle chips and queso. This isn't Texas Tex-Mex beautiful, you know, El Tiempo whatever Tex-Mex queso. This is Chipotle nationwide nation chain queso, okay?
I want my chips with the dip. That's all I know. I don't want my chips plain. I want my chips with the dip. So bring them.
We're currently, you know, with David Johnson, you know, a reformation project, we're currently dead last in rushing. And DeAndre Hopkins, who wanted, quote unquote, too much money, is leading the league in receptions. You can't make this shit up. We're paying Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, and Kenny Stills about $25 million a year, and we targeted them 4 times total last week. All 3 of them.
Don't ever play yourself.
D-Hop is getting a shade under $19 million.
Don't ever
He's
play
missed
yourself.
2 games since he got to the NFL, and once again, he's leading the league in receptions.
Congratulations.
Bill O'Brien's
You
ego was
played
too
yourself.
frail. Anytime someone asks for money, he's like, fuck this guy, he's out of here. Doesn't matter how good he is. Dwayne Brown, still high caliber LT. Clowney, still pretty solid. D-Hop, I don't need to say anything else. You know, even if we go 0-16 this year, the 2020 Houston Texans will always be 1-16 in my heart. Shout out to JJ Watt for finally speaking up according to the reports and making this shit happen. I'm going to give him the credit. That's all I got to say about that.
Wow.
Damn.
You love to hear it.
That was legit. So many great points. So many like bad memories, and then also the Chipotle queso reference also just left a bad taste in my mouth for that. You know, the things that I'm going to add, the ironic part. So Nick Scurfield used to be the Texans insider for a long time, and since has become a pretty great Twitter personality, kind of tweeting really against the Texans oftentimes and the voice of the fans. So I love it. But he had a tweet where he said Gary Kubiak, which Roshan just mentioned, and Dom Capers, who was our first head coach in franchise history, delivering the nail in the coffin to Bill O'Brien in his final game as Texans coach is some kind of wild. And I was like, holy fuck, that is just some weird shit, cryptic, small world, whatever you want to say. You know, Rush talked about the trades. This is all about timing for me. You know, this guy could have been fired so many different times, but you let him go through this offseason making what everyone around the league is still laughing about. I mean, the trade for DeAndre Hopkins, I get it. If you want to trade him, get something else in return. Stephon Diggs for Buffalo, he warranted a first-round pick. I don't even, I watch college football. I can't even remember what fucking college team Stephon Diggs played for. Come on. That's some just dumb shit. You can't even make that trade, in Madden, right? It's stupid. Someone, I think, Robert Flores trying to make the trade and is like, no, you're an asshole. Why would you ever make that type of trade? So, the Hopkins trade, I will die on my high horse, die on my sword around. It's tough. If you were going to make it, get something out of it. And also, if you're making all these trades, if you don't have a first and second round pick for 9 years in a row, it seems like, at least have some win now players. I mean, Roche just rattled off Brandon Cooks, Randall Cobb, Kenny Stills, and they're all great players. You know, they have some great speed. But at $25 million total for those guys, I mean, just come on. I mean, Brandon Cooks, you're paying him a shit ton. You get him, and he's like targeted like once a game against one of the worst passing defenses. Are you kidding me? So
he had zero targets, by the way. He had zero targets in the Minnesota.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt with one target.
No, it's zero.
You know, and I think the other part of it is, I think with this new coach, even in an interim status, I'm hoping Watson just gets unleashed. You know, we talked about Aaron Rodgers a little bit. One thing that I did enjoy what he said is that sometimes he just acts like the earpiece in his helmet doesn't fucking work, so he just calls his own plays. Like, that's some awesome shit. Like, Deshaun, do that. Like, that's what I would love for him to do. Just be like, oh man, I can't hear you, Bill. Like, it's messed up. The stadium's too loud and there's no fucking fans anyways. So like, it's some just shitty things. And like, you know, we wish the best for Bill O'Brien. We know he has a kid. One of the reasons why he moved to Houston was because of their health care. We're not going to get into that. And you know, the one last thing, I mean, just, you have a superstar quarterback and you just can't do anything with it. I get it if a Ryan Mallett doesn't work for you, if you think Tom Savage somehow is going to be the savior that is Jesus Christ himself, whatever you want to call it. But the way that he reads and allows Deshaun Watson not to be himself is just so crazy. And it's ways that, like, I don't want to demean him, but like, he does have a butt chin, and it's not just one butt chin that Bill O'Brien has. He has like 3 butt chins. Like, it's so difficult. Like, if I wanted to grow butt chins, I would have to ask him how to do it. But then he would probably respond like, you know, I just, you know, we should have played a little bit harder and we should have done this. And, you know, I need to train a little bit harder. And that's what you need to do in order to grow those butt chins. Come on, man. Like, and I'm sorry if that's not politically correct, but I don't think this podcast is supposed to be around politically correctness. So that's my rant. I know I went on just as much as Rosh did, but I'm glad he's gone. I'm excited for the new chapter. Hopefully we can bring in an offensive mind that will just continue to unleash Deshaun Watson and the franchise QB that he is.
There's only one guy they need to get, and I don't need to even say it. The whole NFL is clamoring for it. Just make that shit happen. Eric Bieniemy's contract is up. Just throw the fucking bank at him and bring him here.
By the way, I think it's a fucking mistake. I know they're mentioning Josh McDaniels, but I need to bring up that Patriots coaches that are not named Bill Belichick don't seem to be working. How are you going to replace one with another?
No more Patriots. No, I'm sick of the fucking Patriots.
Should be at the top of every fucking team's list. Every single one of them. The fact he doesn't have a head coaching job is atrocious.
It's a crime.
Yeah, the other part that I would say is I think Dabo Swinney is a mistake. Another college coach trying to come into the NFL, instill their will. And then even someone like Ryan Day. I love the Buckeyes. Ryan Day's been in the NFL. He's done it. So someone like that is someone that you could wrap your head around. A quote-unquote QB whisperer, that the way that Bill O'Brien was supposed to be. But you need to have someone that has NFL experience that can gain that respect. And I think Bieniemy is that guy. I mean, look what they're doing in Kansas City. The weapons that we have in Houston has a lot of fucking speed. If you unleash that and get them out in space, they're to the house. That's exactly what Deshaun's able to do, is what Patrick's able to do. So, you know, it's a crime that these last 3 years for Watson have just gone wasted.
Yeah, that definitely delivered, and the whole reason you guys are on here, I'm glad that lived up to it. I don't know which one I would have preferred if he still was the coach, or now we have that he's fired. But I never realized that Bill O'Brien traded for a team that would have been good in like 2013.
Yeah, totally. He did a great job. All fantasy glass team, 1, 2, and all 2013, Pro Bowlers.
100%. Okay. I mean, seems like it's going to be weekly, but they might be so bad that it'll fade. You played yourself. It's coming for the Dallas Cowboys. You knew from the start when you tuned in here. You knew it was happening. So the game against the Browns this past week was one of those games so bad that you just laugh. So, this time I'm going to be calm about this. the Cowboys coach, Mike McCarthy, said the following after the game, and, nothing can go wrong here. He said, quote, "I'm disappointed. We need to start games better. We need to do a better job of bringing our preparation to the performance, and that starts with me. When your team performs and makes similar mistakes, 4 weeks is a pattern, so this pattern needs to stop." McCarthy also said, "I didn't see effort as an issue in yesterday's game," end quote. Now, fuck you. This is what really pisses me off. How fucking stupid do you think we all are? And whose feelings are we protecting here? You can't call out your team full of grown fucking men that suck at their jobs? And this is not just me saying it as a unruly fan, because you sure as hell know I say it. When your team performs this badly, we have to protect them for fucking what? Former players are calling out their effort, and former players are saying they look like they're not trying. Their best defensive player right now has not been in the fucking league the last 4 fucking years. Aldon Smith is the best player on the Cowboys defense. Let that fucking sink in. Speaking of 2013, it's not 2013. Paging Jalen Smith, paging DeMarcus Lawrence, and those fucking $100 million contracts you signed? Where the fuck are you? DeMarcus Lawrence wants to tell me, quote, "We've got so much talent, but without grit and toughness, it doesn't count for much." You fucking think? Attitude reflects leadership. Highly paid defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence. Shout out my dude Wood Harris playing Julius Campbell in Remember the Titans.
Attitude reflect leadership, Captain.
I love how we have to hear this bullshit come out of the Jones family mouth each week about sticking with their sorry-ass coaches and roster we have. But we have to hear it from the players who are in the locker room like we didn't just see what we had to see. I legitimately waste 3 fucking hours of my life every goddamn week watching this sorry-ass team take the field. And you want to tell us, oh, that's not how we should have prepared. You fucking think? It's your job. It's your job to prepare. And you want to tell us we didn't do our job? Okay, so what are you going to do about it? Fire someone? No, we're going to stick with them while they fucking do their jobs horribly to literally the bottom of the league. To laughably the bottom of the league. Every single week, these excuses, we got to get better. Even my dude Zeke Elliott, we got to protect the ball. So stop fucking holding it like a loaf of bread. You fucking idiot. You don't think people are going to try to strip the ball? They can't tackle you, so what else are they going to do? Fucking hold on to it. Do you guys know this? The Cowboys have had exactly 50 possessions so far this year. We have almost as many turnovers as we do punts.
That's incredible.
That is unbelievable. They have 9 fucking turnovers this year and just 11 punts.
Damn, we have 11 punts in one game, man. So
yeah, I know. I don't even feel bad for you.
I just fucking hate when I just wish they wouldn't have press obligations after they suck that bad. I don't want to hear anything out of their mouth other than we fucking sucked. That's all I want to hear. I don't want to hear, hey, we didn't do a good job preparing. Mike McCarthy, that is absolutely your job. So you're admitting you're not doing your job? Is that that's all you have to say to me? While you fucking have nepotism and hire just your friend, Mike Nolan, whose defense is utterly fucking blow. And Jerry Jones wants to tell us we're sticking with Mike Nolan. Now's not the right time to make a move. Of course it's not, right? Of course it's not the right time to make a move. You'll do all this other bullshit, but you won't make a move. You'll take 8,000 years to fire Jason Garrett, and when your defense is dead last, you won't do shit about it. We'll just continue to suck. Oh, there's all these great safeties out there in free agency, but you want to tell us why we like the guys in the locker room who are blowing coverages like it's their job, when in fact, the opposite is their job. I am so fucking tired of this. I had a realization. I said to my wife, I think if I'm fortunate enough to have kids in the future, I think I've kind of gotten off that stance that they're going to need to be Cowboys fans. Because if I love my children, why would I want to subject them to that?
Facts.
That wouldn't be and do you realize how hard for me that is to say? There's no doubt they're going to be Ohio State fans, but why would I purposely want to make them unhappy? And why would I purposely want to take years off my children's lives? Because these Dallas Cowboys and the Jones family sure as hell are. And I have a feeling they traded it for immortality because they're going to be haunting me for fucking ever. So fuck the Dallas Cowboys. Fuck them. fuck him, and fuck Mike McCarthy, and especially fuck Mike Nolan.
Wow.
Beautiful.
You guys have anything to add?
That was incredible.
I'll let you go first, then, Vish.
I'm like at a loss for words, truly. I think growing up with you, I've seen the passion that has come out, but hearing it on the podcast every week, I just like laugh. I'm listening to the podcast like early morning while I'm walking my dogs. I'm just laughing to myself, and people are probably thinking I'm crazy or whatever. I feel your pain, bro. Like, it is just ruthless. It's tough. I hate the Cowboys, but I also love to see, you be happy and like not take years off your life. But sometimes like sports just take over, and it just fucking sucks. You have someone like Mike McCarthy who takes a year off of football, right? A year off of football, supposedly is now this analytical person. And are you kidding me? Can't really put together why this is not working. If your team, Dak Prescott is playing out of his fucking mind, and you're wasting his talent. And you're fucking franchise tagging the shit out of him, too. You have a franchise quarterback that you got in the 4th round. You know how many teams would be, like, kill for that? 4th round
by the way,
quarterback.
The Jones family almost fucking messed that up, but another team didn't allow them to mess it up. We could have been with Paxton Lynch.
A 4th round quarterback that prior to this year was on a pretty great deal. So, like, your window to win was like right then and there. So I feel your pain, man. It just sucks. I'm right there with you, Rosh. Like, what can you offer as words of advice? And
I've seen championship windows come and go for both of our teams. You open these up and you're like, wow, we could have won a fucking championship with Matt Schaub, or, it's incredible to see how inept front offices are sometimes. But then you're like, wow, we're just sitting here at home, armchair quarterbacking everything. But it's just like, holy fuck. Like, when the facts and the stats match, I'm just like, how is this happening to everybody? And it's just like, how can we keep doing this and running around in circles? I super feel the pain of Cowboys fans. As a native Houstonian, born and bred, I've been bred not to care about this, and I should honestly be dancing on, everyone's corpses. But as a fan of a team who's 0-4 right now, I have no room to speak. My family makes things complicated because, I'm not trying to see them unhappy. I'm trying to see them. But, this podcast would truly suffer if the Cowboys were good. I wouldn't want to hear.
I'd find shit to talk.
But
Jim Harbaugh always says something dumb.
Yeah. But, it's just like the worst part about McCarthy is going back to what Vish said is like he took a year off and he just like hid himself away in some barn and like studied football like the whole time. Like, what the fuck were you studying? Seriously, like, how is he worse than he was in Green Bay? It's just like, and I hate that this helps Aaron Rodgers' case out. He was complaining about McCarthy for years, and the Cowboys, being bad and Aaron Rodgers being right. That's 2 L's right there. So
yep.
That's what I got to say about that.
I got one last sane thing I got to add is I'll admit that I wasn't the biggest Dak Prescott fan initially, and credit to Sonny, last week's guest. He's always been on the Dak train. I love Dak Prescott as quarterback. The issue is the Cowboys are not going to win. He's not the recipe for the Cowboys winning. If you look at teams that succeed, and the Cowboys-Browns game was a great indication. They literally showed a timeline year by year of their ranks in rushing offense and how you can directly see the Browns went from basically last in the league to now top 5, and they're sitting 3-1. The Cowboys went the other direction and are now in the bottom of the league in rushing. Mm-hmm. From the time they drafted Zeke, they were top of the league rushing. That was the year where Dak surprised and they made a run on their rookie year. They've gotten worse every year since. So it's for all these bells and whistles. When in doubt, the recipe to winning is running. And when in doubt, you might want to use the guy you paid $100 million to, for better or for worse. People hate that we paid Zeke. Some people didn't agree with it. Fine. They paid him. That part is done. You might as well give him the fucking rock, especially in the first half. Because by the time it's the second half, you can't do it because you find a way to turn the ball over and you're behind all day. And yeah, Dak's bringing you back into games, but that's not a recipe to win. The running game helps mask your defense also, which we already talked about is very sorry. So the least you can do when you have a sorry defense is control the clock so they're not on the field the whole game. Common sense, right? But we can't master that. Mike McCarthy wanted to let us know that when Amari Cooper said, we see 3 of our receivers catching for 1,000 yards. And Mike McCarthy said, whoa, slow your roll. Our first priority is running the ball. You're a fucking liar. You're bad at your job, and you're a fucking liar. That's what you're telling me.
He's back to his Green Bay days when Rodgers didn't have a quarterback. Didn't have a running back, sorry.
And look at Green Bay now. Green Bay uses Aaron Jones so well.
And they look
winning.
unstoppable. Yeah.
They got fucking Joe Schmo at receiver because it doesn't fucking matter. That wraps up. You played yourself. Hopefully you all enjoyed that. As we always know, my pain is your pleasure. And hopefully you got added bit from Texans fans. Anything for you guys, number one podcast listeners. And don't worry, the Cowboys always deliver in my unhappiness.
The last thing I wanted to say about the Texans, and one thing that we didn't bring up, was that when Bill O'Brien first came on, he also dumped a franchise wide receiver, probably the best player in franchise history. Oh, God,
man, I forgot about that.
Andre Johnson. And,
wow, I didn't realize he did that.
And just kind of dumped him to the curb. And
he ran his ass out of town.
Yeah, tried to make up for it as Andre Johnson was like an assistant coach or some shit last year. But, too little too late. Andre Johnson was Houston Texans football. Loved him, loved his energy, loved all about it. So I just want to say that him getting rid of a awesome wide receiver, probably the top of top. Larry Fitzgerald gets, he never had quarterbacks. Larry Fitzgerald had Carson Palmer throwing to him for a couple years and had career years. Andre Johnson had garbage throwing to him.
Facts.
Legit.
Facts.
All disrespect to match up.
Well, I think Roche even has a completed pass to Andre Johnson. So you're talking about that.
Actually, it's funny you say that, yeah. Yeah, and I saw him at a mall, and I gave him a high five once, and yeah, that was he's caught from everybody.
Better accuracy than some of those quarterbacks.
Shit.
All right, now that we let our blood pressures return to somewhat normal here, it's time for who you got and what you feeling. And a little recap of last episode. Me and also fellow Botman Sonny we made a few picks. We talked about who had the hotter seat, Adam Gase or Dan Quinn. It turns out we were both wrong. It was Bill O'Brien. We made our picks for the NBA Finals. Sonny had the Lakers in 6. I had the Lakers in 5. Guess we'll find out on that maybe very soon. Hopefully very soon. All praise to the God.
Bless.
And we both made a really bad pick in Auburn traveling to Georgia. Georgia was 7-point favorites, and it was clear that they were 7-point favorites for a reason. They beat Auburn 27-6. That's a big yikes from us. Well, I guess we'll see if we get it right this week. So without further ado, this week's picks. We're going to get to a little rapid fire of basically our version of contender or pretender. But first, I wanted a few picks out of you fellas. Number 7, Miami travels to number 1, Clemson this week. They're both 3-0. Clemson is 2 touchdown favorites. Do the Hurricanes have any chance? Who you got in this one? You can go either by spread or outright pick. I'll give you the...
I think right now you have the line as, 14? I like Clemson. I think in any sort of case, if there's that home crowd feel, Clemson easily covers. But I think Clemson still wins, but Miami does cover. So I would take Miami plus 14.
All right, who you got, Rush?
I admittedly am not keeping up with football, college football anyway, but I find it hard to believe Clemson's going to lose a game to a conference opponent. They, as we all know, they play in the softest fucking conference ever. So
Facts. Fuck
their schedule and fuck Dabo. Hope the Texans don't hire him. Those are my picks. Clemson will win. Clemson will win, and I hope the Texans don't even try to go after Dabo.
Okay, I dig it. You know what? Every logic in the world says Clemson, but fuck it and fuck Clemson. I'm going Miami.
Nice.
Outright upset victory. Fuck Trevor Lawrence and fuck the flags he whines for from the Aaron Rodgers School of Whining.
Yes. Facts.
All right. Speaking we're going to switch over to baseball. I want to get your guys' picks to who makes it to the championship series round. Who you guys got in the NLCS and ALCS? Rosh, you can start in this one.
NLCS, I got the Dodgers beating the Padres. Padres have been probably one of the most fun teams to watch all year. Tatis is just a gem. He's really turning this page on youthful, exciting baseball. But, I think their story ends with the Dodgers. They're just too deep. I think the Braves are going to take care of business. Marlins clearly don't belong. The Braves are just... they have stellar top to bottom lineup. I think they're going to take care of business. ALCS, I'm going with the Stros. Fuck the A's. Fuck Mike Fiers.
Bang, bang, bitches.
Bang, bang. But, it is what it is. No one wanted us to be here. We're here. So I'd love to see us go to the ALCS, probably lose to whoever we play. But I also thought the Rays would take care of business and upset quote unquote the Yankees, everyone's favorite team. I think their just lineup is deeper. I think their pitching is better, and I think they're going to take care of business. So those are my picks.
All right, I dig it. Who you got, Vish?
It's hard to argue with what Rush has said. I think the Dodgers, with Mookie Betts, just going after that sort of franchise player, it would suck to be a Red Sox fan to get rid of that sort of play. I mean, they got rid of like a Jeter. That Mookie Betts could have been a homegrown talent. So, and he's just playing lights out, and I think he takes them. I think the Braves, again, they just been playing really well, kind of back to their same ways of when they kind of dominated the 90s. I have to go with the Stros. I think they have the hitting that's going on, and I'm knocking on wood as I say that, hoping it continues. and I think, I would love to see the Rays, but part of me just wants to play the Yankees and fucking sweep the shit out of them. So I'm going with the Yankees just out of spite. And then if I'm continuing to go, I would love to see the Astros and the Dodgers in the World Series, and then the Astros win again, because that would just make people so fucking pissed, and I would just love it. I think there's a video that Rosh usually tweets out, and I would just love that just to be on repeat every episode.
I mean, it's hard to disagree.
I wonder if it'll be added behind these picks.
This is the ideal scenario for everyone involved, like Astros fans, maybe even the MLB. They would probably pick the Dodgers over the Astros in the World Series. But even if we get there, Hose will still be mad. It doesn't matter. Fuck off.
Hose already mad, baby.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go, just to be different, I'm going to go Padres Braves, because fuck the Dodgers. And
nice.
Astros Yankees, and that's all I have to say about that. Fuck every team that ain't the Stros. Bang bang bitches.
Let's go.
Hose mad. Okay. All right, we got a little rapid fire segment here. I'm calling it legit or not. I just titled it whatever. I'm gonna rattle off a few teams, and I want you to tell me quickly whether you think they're legit or they're not. Straightforward. First up, the 3-1 Browns, legit or not? Vish, you go first.
I think the Browns, we see them a lot, especially being in Ohio. They have a great rushing attack. They haven't really played too many great defensive teams. And so I don't, until
what about the Cowboys?
I said defensive teams, sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Fucking Swiss cheese.
I think Stefanski is the right coach there. I don't know if Baker's the right person. I will just say legit, because I would just love to see the Browns do really well, especially for Northeast Ohio.
All right, what you got, Rush?
I think they're the Browns at the end of the day. It's always hard to say. I think they're going to surprise some people this year. I mean, upsetting the asterisk, block it out. Upsetting the Cowboys, was a big win for them. I can say for yeah, exactly. I can say for certain they won't win the division because it's just too stacked. But I think we'll see 3 AFC North teams in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think they're legit, and I wrote thinking wild card. I think they have a legitimate chance. They have no reason not to, put it that way. They have people at every position. You have a star defensive end that actually plays like it. Hint, hint, DeMarcus Lawrence. Myles Garrett actually plays like the money he's paid. They have a shutdown corner in Denzel Ward. Go Bucks. They have someone at every single level. And obviously they have playmakers on offense, and they're committed to running behind Bill Callahan's offensive line, which, by the way, I miss him so much. Everywhere he goes, the run game works. I mean, I miss him so much on the Cowboys. Okay, so for that reason, I think they're legit. I think you're right, though. AFC North is really tough, and you're looking at even their worst team, the Bengals. They're legitimately an offensive line away from being real contenders, if you look at it. Like, they're in every game, but Joe Burrow, I fear for him. I fear...
man, he's getting lit up.
Yeah, I mean, he's learning to slide and all that, but that's like, if I'm them, I'm drafting all offensive line and seeking them out in free agency. While you have people on rookie contracts, like you have Joe Burrow on a rookie contract and what's turning into a top receiver in T. Higgins on a rookie contract, go spend the money on the line and try to win now in a really tough game. That's a little long-winded, but next up is the Bills, 4-0, legit, not legit. What do you guys think?
I think they're definitely legit. After having seen them play a playoff game and barely lose to the Texans, who are on paper much better team than them, they're well coached. They'll finally benefit from Brady not being in the division. And going back to that playoff game, as someone who finally had the chance to tailgate with some of those Bills fans, I wish them the best. They deserve it. I honestly hope they go to the Super Bowl and fucking win this shit.
I think Chris Berman on prime time, no one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. I think they're legit. Josh Allen is playing really well right now. Their defense is not even playing as well as it did last year. And so if they figured out how to piece that together, having Diggs to stretch the field is just something that they really needed. And they still have a good run game and a run threat with Josh Allen. So legit for sure.
Yeah, I got to go legit. I probably would have said not if Tom Brady was in the division, but I know Cam Newton's a real force, but he's COVID positive right now, so we'll see what happens.
Well, what about Joe Flacco with the Jets, man?
I said what I said.
Hey, that's Super Bowl MVP Joe Flacco to you, man. Put some respect on his name.
Crazy. Has more rings than Kevin Durant.
Oh, shit.
Anyway, next up is the 2-2 Cardinals. I know sore subject with the talent they have, but obviously Kyler Murray's the name of the game on offense. Are they legit or not?
I think they're an above average team. NFC's a little top heavy. I think they'll find themselves in a wild card spot. There's a few kinks to work out, but they're pretty solid, man. Kyler looks great. D-Hop looks amazing in his knee. He looks like he's having fun, which I love to see because he did not look like he was having fun last year. So shout out to him, man.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out here. I think they definitely had some games early on their schedule that they should have won. Like Roche just mentioned, it's a top-heavy NFC for them, so they might sneak in, but they need their run game to really work or just spread it out. Otherwise, it's not going to be a balanced attack, and they'll just be able to double D-Hop and kind of...
Yeah, I'm going to go with not legit. And the reason is those games you mentioned, Vish, is they should have really won games early in the season that they ended up losing, and that's not a recipe for success. You're talking about the NFC, and if we're talking about legit in terms of playoff, I mean, the NFC West is crazy right now with pretty damn good teams there, and if the 49ers can somehow get somewhat healthy, then they're in the fold, and then you got to figure at least out of the NFC South, the Saints and the Bucks are going to get in. So then where do the Cardinals fit in after that and I know we're going to say stuff about the NFC East and yeah, they shouldn't have a playoff team, but the fact of the matter is they do. So I don't know what to tell you.
They will have a 6-9-1 team in the playoffs at some point.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they're definitely trending that way.
Yeah.
Especially if the Cowboys keep Mike Nolan as their...
Well, at least the bright side is you have a first round pick. We can't even say the same about the Texans. We don't have a second either. So fuck us.
Well, what is it? Just this coming draft, and then is it? Are you?
Yeah. Then we're back to normal after this year.
Okay. At least it gives whatever the next coach is like. At least it gives them a year. Like you're not going to make a move.
Yeah, man, a year cushion for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Last but not least, this one's in your guys' division. The Colts are 3-1 behind Phillip Rivers as their quarterback. Are they legit or not?
I hate to be kind of in the middle. The jury's still out. They haven't really played anyone this year. They lost to the Jaguars in the first game. That's going to be a stain on their resume for sure. But the Jets, Vikings, and Bears, definitely not the schedule that the Texans have had. If there's ever any fairness thrown for Bill O'Brien, is they had a pretty brutal first 3 games, more than any team would care to play, even in a 5-week stretch. So, they have the talent there, but again, it's too early to do. And I think the Titans are probably the better team in that division running away.
Yeah, I'm with Vish. I definitely think the Titans will win the division overall. But, Frank Reich is a great coach. I feel like they're pretty legit. Phillip Rivers is a bozo. I think he's going to throw him out of a few of the games, including the playoff game they probably make. Probably throw like 4 interceptions in like 2 quarters at some point. So whatever, man. Good luck to them, I guess.
Phillip Rivers would not approve of this podcast.
I know you definitely wouldn't. Dadgummit.
He'd see that explicit logo and not even touch it. He probably got the child filters on anyway.
For which of his
20,000 kids?
For which one of his 12 kids? Yeah, goddamn. Dadgummit.
So I'm gonna go with legit for the Colts, and I think it's pretty much just by like default of the. I would say it'd be the Titans division, but if they keep fucking up, I don't know what roster they're gonna have to be able to field. But I think it's the Titans division to lose, and they very well might lose it away. I think they're legit because of the circumstance, but ordinarily I'd probably say not. All right, what are you guys feeling lately?
I got 2 albums that I'm feeling. I'm like hip hop in general has been kind of like a down year, I want to say. I'm sure a lot of people will feel differently, but I feel like pretty underwhelmed overall. But 21 Savage's new one is pretty nice, man. It feels like a movie soundtrack. Morgan Freeman definitely helps make that a possibility. It's cool to hear him on a song talking about snitches and rats and shit, and just being completely ignorant with it. But other than that, I really love the Deftones new album. It's a band I've been listening to since I was a kid. Deftones, Ohms. It's out now. Stream it on. I'm not even in the fucking band. I don't know why I'm saying it, but I feel like I am.
I think. For me, I'll kind of stick in the entertainment. I love having sports to be able to talk about and talk through, and even this microphone therapy has been awesome. But one of the things that I've been feeling is if you have Apple Plus TV as a show, Ted Lasso, we started watching it just because we wanted to, and it starts out pretty weird and some like corny ass jokes, but it's actually a fantastic show. So if you have it, watch it. It's definitely a good feel good type of story. Even though it's about soccer, which doesn't really make a huge appearance on Premal Play.
Go Crew, go soccer, baby.
Go soccer. Wait, I got one more thing I'm feeling, actually. You know what I am feeling? I'm feeling, LeBron in the finals. I'm feeling the incoming championship, knock on wood.
Knock on wood, amen.
We fucking needed this one, man. We've been through some bad LeBron finals, and it's about time that he had an opponent that was almost like a level playing field. As we've mentioned before, Kevin Durant kind of fucked things up for a while, so it's nice to see that hopefully this time next week, or by the time the next podcast comes out, LeBron's a 4-time champion, and that's amazing.
Knock on wood, LeGod James.
I know, as you knock on wood, and it's so crazy that KCP is going to have one more ring than Kevin Durant too.
Petty alert! Petty alert! Petty alert!
Finals,
crazy,
that's
man.
Finals MVP KCP to you, bro.
and at least one Antetokounmpo brother is going to have a ring.
Wow, the better one.
We didn't even talk about Giannis, dude.
Yeah, man, we didn't. That's for another episode.
Not my MVP.
Nah.
What I'm feeling is getting back into the swing of Prem Brulee. I want to thank you guys for being on it too, because sports being back affords me this right to have this microphone therapy and yell at you through your number one podcast headphones. So I appreciate you guys tuning in and all the shares. I appreciate all that. I genuinely do. I appreciate the love that everybody shows. So that's part of what makes this so much fun. But you guys know I like to bring it down a notch and end each episode with too much sense. And this was something I saw from actually previous podcast host Mike Adams. Shout out Mike Adams, name drop there, but we'll try to have him on another time also. But he posted something that I reshared, and I thought I'd let the people know. I wanted to remind you guys not to mistake positive, optimistic people for naive. I'm one of those people and sometimes get that kind of treatment. So I would make a case that it's extremely fucking difficult to be a positive person. Those that are positive have seen plenty, but they choose to be positive, so embrace those people. No, that doesn't mean that you have to be one of them, and you don't even have to be positive some of the time, let alone all the time. But positivity can be contagious just like negativity is. So you might as well let the contagious positivity in instead of the negativity, because eventually the idea is that the negativity doesn't win out. So that's my too much sense for this week.
Cheers, man. Love it,
yes,
dude.
sir. I want to thank you both for being on the number one podcast in your headphones. I appreciate you too.
Bro, I appreciate it. It's a long time coming. I'm glad to finally get on here and yell, especially about Bill O'Brien. You know, I hope to be back on here soon, you know, gloating about LeBron. We'll see what's up with that. But,
yeah, seriously, thank you for having us on. I think it is some sort of therapy just to be able to commiserate in the pain that we all feel right now.
For sure,
and that
man.
people can kind of take a glimpse into it. So I appreciate you, Bram. You're just doing some great things, man.
Yeah, man. This is how the family works. It's cool to let people in on this shit. You know, everyone... You know, got to know how the bot family works. You know how we vibe. This is what the fuck it is, man.
Amen. We rally around the Stros, so go Stros. I want to sign off with the Go Stros. Bang bang. Go LeGod James. You know how we do it. And then go Bucks coming up, baby.
Go Bucks, baby. Let's get it.
I appreciate you, number one podcast listeners. This has been another edition of the number one podcast in your headphones. That's right. Don't ever get it twisted. Don't ever play yourselves. This has been a special edition of Prem Brulee, a triple host session. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next week. Peace.